What Draymond Green brings every night, that intensity and desire to bring that every night, is nothing short of remarkable. And looking at his resume at this point in his career, with more left in the tank, is also flat out remarkable. Still, as a four-time champion, two-time gold medalist, defensive player of the year, four-time All-Star, and so on, we still need to appreciate the IQ, the leadership, and the fire that is Draymond. As Penny points out, Draymond is one of one, and now a blueprint for players to pattern their games after. For a guy that is willing to do the dirty work, that is willing to sacrifice and to do what it takes to win, what coach wouldn't want a guy like that on his team? For Draymond, there's been a lot of growth and evolution, not only in his game, but as a person. And as he points out, at this time in his career, he has a renewed desire. And Golden State is well aware of that. It's Draymond Green on the 2 Cents Podcast. Remember, subscribe wherever you get your podcast to catch every episode as soon as they drop each and every week.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Just want to welcome you back to the My 2 Cents Podcast. I can't say enough about this next guest that we have on the show. My man, if you know me, you've talked to me plenty of times. You know, I'm a big, huge Draymond Green fan for a lot of reasons. First, he a dog. He a winner. You know, he's a champion. He's all of that. So I'm so proud to have this man on my show. So, Dre, without further ado, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Man, I appreciate you having me. I told you, man, just having the opportunity to talk to you and growing up and being a fan and just watching how you was changing the game and like growing up. Like I played a position I play today because in my mind, I'm like growing up like I'm a guard. I'm a big guard. and you know, just watching you do that at the most elite level, I'm such a fan and it's such an honor to be on your show. It's an honor to talk to you, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. I'm a huge fan of yours. And it's like you said, you know, I don't know how it was in your hood in Saginaw, but when you were tall enough, you had to be the center. And my coach allowed me to be the guard. My coach allowed me to be the guard, so I was blessed. I don't know if that happened the same way for you, but you got the guard skills for sure.
Hey, I played point guard my whole life. Like,
really?
I was the tallest guy on the court. But my uncle was our coach. And so I was the tallest guy on the court. So on defense, I played the back of the press because we pressed.
Okay.
But on offense, I played point guard.
Okay.
And so then I once I got to middle school, they kind of didn't want me to play point guard, but I still did my thing, you know. And then once I got to high school, same thing. Like I made freshman my freshman year. So I did whatever I wanted to do on freshman. Then when I got to varsity my sophomore year, I started every game, but I was a legit power forward. And then I just started backhandling, shooting it, and it's kind of translated. But it's been like that through every step of my career where when I get to that next level, they start me off as just a big. And then I show them like, no, man, I'm a big guard. Like, give me the ball. I can do a little something with it.
Right, for sure. And did Saginaw's back, the history of the hoops in Saginaw, did that have anything to do with how you model your game? Because one of my favorite players of all time is Steve Smith. I don't know if you were a Smitty fan or not, but that was my dog. You talking about somebody looking up to a guy that was like ahead of me, Smitty with the handles. I'm just saying, was I know he's not from Saginaw, he's from Detroit, but the Saginaw background, did that get you to feeling like, all right, I'm gonna let it rock because this is how we do it here in Saginaw?
Little Smitty love first off, you know, Motor City Smitty, that's my OG. Got nothing but love for Smitty. My aunt, so I've known Smitty actually since I was a kid. Wow. My aunt played at Michigan State. My aunt named Annette Babers, and she was like that. And so she played at Michigan State at the same time as Smitty. So I met Smitty when I was 2-3 years old. Like that's literally how long I've known him. But with guys like that, and coming up in that culture, like, you know, you go to the playground, and one of the best dudes I ever played against in my life name is Big Reg. He hooped at the park and at the rec center and at the Salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the culture we grow up in. So you coming up, like, we're watching NBA players, and I'm a fan of the NBA. I'm always like, yo, I want to get there. But all I need to do is go outside in my neighborhood and go to the park. And there's some guys out here that I can look at and be like, oh, I need to add this to my game. I need to add that to my game. Big Reg would walk in. He would tell us, like, I walk in, put 20 on the books, and then start counting from there. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt.
That's the culture that we came up in. So it definitely forced me to model my game after that. Like, you couldn't be a guy that just came down. Big Reg was a big man, lefty, smooth, soft touch. But Big Reg coming down, he hitting you with tween, step back, fade with the left. And he, big dude. I'm talking about big dude. That's the culture of our city. Right. Like, you gotta know how to dribble that basketball, or you can't play.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Now let me ask you this: was it Saginaw a state school or University of Michigan city?
Saginaw is definitely a Michigan State city. Now, my OG Lamar Woodley, who played football at the University of Michigan, legend. They ended up going to Michigan, and it was the right thing. Like, he went there, All-American, playing for Lloyd Carr. Lloyd Carr was that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
sir.
It was the right thing for him to do. But Saginaw has been, always will be a Michigan State city. You talking Charles Rogers, you know what I'm saying? You talking Jason Richardson, national champion. Saginaw has been and will always be a Michigan State, because the way we cut in Saginaw is the way they cut at Michigan State. I didn't go to the University of Michigan because I was going to go to Michigan. I announced, say today is Thursday, I announced that I was going to have a press conference. I mean, today's Friday, say. I announced that I was going to have a press conference the following Thursday. Michigan started blowing my phone up. Yo, you got to come back down one more time. You got to come back down. If they would have left me at home, I was going to Michigan.
Wow.
They forced me, like, you got to come down. You got to come down. So I went down there on Monday, and I'm playing with the guys open gym. Now, mind you, the goon they got on their team is Manny Harris and Deshaun Sims. They from Detroit, right? Like, they had class, so they didn't play in the open gym. Everybody else on the team was there. And I'm telling you, I'm destroying these dudes. I'm senior year of high school. I'm chubby because I'm coming off an ankle injury. I'm destroying these dudes, and I'm talking crazy to them the way I do. They saying nothing. They not saying a word.
Nothing?
I go to Michigan State, and I talk trash to these guys. They barking back. We about to fight. I'm like, yeah, this is me. This is Saginaw. This is where I'm from. And so I said all of that to say they just not cut like us. Like, they're a little softer. They think they're a little smarter, but you may be a little book smarter, but that don't ever apply in this real world we live in, right? Like, and so they just not cut like us, and that's why Michigan State is Saginaw is a Michigan State place, because the way Tom Izzo is, is like the way is blue collar. That's Saginaw. We don't really fit at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, no, and Coach Izzo, shout out to Coach Izzo. He exemplifies that raw grit, toughness. This is what we do, almost like that Wu-Tang type. What we doing? We going to war, Absolutely. and that's the culture there. Everybody knows that. And so I was going to ask how Michigan State, but once you told me this story, I know now. And then you stayed in school for 4 years.
You know what? I stayed in school for 4 years. I tell everybody, I stayed in school for 4 years because I had to. Nobody was beating down my door saying I'm going to be a lottery pick. And saying that, if I could do it all over again, and you told me right now, yo, you can go back to school, you can start over, you're going to have an opportunity to be one and done. I'd rather do 4 years. It was the best 4 years of my life. I became a man. I learned so much accountability, how to hold myself accountable from Tom Izzo. That is the number one thing you must learn from Tom Izzo, is you must be accountable. And your finger better always do this. The moment it do this, you are soft, you are weak. Who are you? You don't belong here. Your finger always better do this. And so for me, those 4 years, man, and the growth that I had, like when I came into the NBA, learning the NBA game was easy because I knew basketball. Like, I had to learn, like, even when I watch film today, I don't watch film like most players watch film. I watch film like a coach because Tom Izzo taught me how to watch film.
Right.
Tom Izzo taught me that, yo, you see that pass that just happened, that turnover that just happened over there? It really happened 3 passes ago when you threw the pass to the dude ankles and he couldn't get the shot off, so he drove out of control and threw the ball that way, which then went to the guy ankle and they bounced off that guy's foot. That was really your turnover. Like, he taught me all of those things. And so staying 4 years was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because also the challenges that you face in the NBA. Like, I wasn't ready to handle that at no 19 years old. And I see guys coming in at 19 years old, year in and year out, and they not ready to handle it, you know, and the pitfalls, as you know, they like one wrong move can cost you. And I would have just rather, I mean, let's be honest. You make a wrong move in college, you can come back from it because you're in college. Everybody know you're going to make mistakes. Like, how do we help you out? How do we get you to grow? In the NBA, you make that mistake, it's over. And I wasn't ready for that. I would have made a million mistakes from 19 to 22 that could have cost me my life.
Yeah, it could have cost you your life, your career, a whole lot of things, because once they blackball you and making those mistakes, you can slide down that slippery slope and be out and never get back again. And a lot of guys have gone through that. Now, 2012, 35th pick. Were you excited about that pick or were you pissed? Like, I'm pissed because I just killed my senior year and I think I'm better now, and I went 35th.
It's the most bittersweet day of my life. I got drafted. Maybe I don't know. The first most bittersweet day could be when I got my advance my rookie year, and I took a $60,000 advance. I got $26,000 after taxes. My feelings was really hurt. So that could be the most bittersweet day. But when I got drafted, it was so bittersweet because I had promises from 4 or 5 teams within pick 23 to 30 that if I was on the board, they were taking me. None of them took me. And to then go 35th, like, wow, I just got my name called in the NBA draft. That is unbelievable. 35th pick? I had to wait till the second round. All these guys y'all drafted in front of me are bums. They can't compete with me. I won College National Player of the Year. I've won year in and year. I showed y'all I can do everything. I can shoot it. You need me to shoot. I can dribble, post, whatever you need, I can do it. And I'm the 35th pick. I just didn't understand it because also I'm watching guys that go in front of me that not only did I drug this year, but I've drugged those guys my entire life. AAU, you name it, I've drugged these guys. Like, and so I just don't understand why am I going to pick 35? And so it was extremely bittersweet to me. I was pissed off. And from that day forward, I still to this day, I never forgot a single name that was drafted in front of me because everybody must pay. And when I tell you 1 through 34 in one way or another has paid. Every single one.
That's deep. But I look at that as that was God's plan for you to get to Golden State because he knew that you would be able to do what you had to do and gave you the platform, even though you deserve better. Being National Player of the Year, come on, man, don't disrespect me. I've shown you, but at the end of the day, you know, on that level, once they label you and put you in the box, they had already put you in the box, my bro. And you said, I ain't in no box. You busted up out of that box like, all right, I'm here now. Let me see what y'all gonna do. And you did it to them, what they thought the guys that they drafted ahead of you was gonna do. So at the end of the day, you made every last one of those GMs look at you over the years and go, damn, we missed on that one. And what you've done is helped another guy get drafted higher that, hey, man, we ain't missing on him because we missed on Draymond. If you didn't know that definitely happened.
No, 1,000%. A lot of guys have benefited from what I had to go through. And guess what? It's the biggest accomplishment that I've had to pave a way for guys to come through this league, to look a certain way, be a certain height, not fit a certain mold, but to be looked at like, oh, no, but that guy's going to have success in this league because of X, Y, and Z. And I know he's going to have that success because look at him. That, to me, is one of the best compliments. And like you said, it was God's plan for sure. For me to end up here, I ended up playing with 2 guys that we will always be remembered together. We created some magic together, and all 3 of us became who we've become together. Like, there is no Steph Curry don't become who Steph Curry became without Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. And I don't become who I become without those 2 guys. And Klay does not become who he become without us 2. And the most beautiful part about that is, man, it's a brotherhood. Like, I'm waiting on Klay right now. Klay, I'm literally sitting here waiting on him right now to come kick it. He stayed over. Like, that brother, we were supposed to go out on this boat, but it's rainy, it's disgusting outside today. But like that brotherhood, that bond that us three got, like regardless of Clay being on another team or not, man, like I don't know, I couldn't have created that anywhere else. And you know, to come to an organization also where they had never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't go to the Lakers or where it's like, yo, you're just another one of the champions, or the Boston Celtics, you're another one of the champions. No, we are the champs here. You know, and obviously shout out to the OGs, Rick Barry, Al Adams, you know, they did their thing.
Yes,
they got
absolutely.
Like not knocking that at all. But this organization is known and will be remembered about what we did here. And I don't have that opportunity if I don't fall to 35. So what I always try to tell guys is where you get drafted matters for a day. But it's in your best interest to hope you get drafted to the best situation, not the highest pick. Because the highest pick, in most cases, as you know, the highest pick in a lot of cases is the shittiest situation. And,
no doubt.
You know, and quite honestly, I went to not a great situation. I went 35. That team won 23 games a year before I got here. But it all worked out. I ended up with the guys I needed to end up with, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so I'm going to read this for the 35th pick. 4-time champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 2017 Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-Star, 8-time All-Defense, 2-time All-NBA. That's the 35th pick, and still going, and probably missing some stuff, but that's a part of your resume, dog. That is incredible. Just from, you said, a kid from Saginaw that just had that swag about, hey, we're going to battle, we're going to fight, we're going to scrap, we're going to go to war, and we're going to win. So I can definitely appreciate that. So for me, just watching your game, just understanding the IQ of, like you said, Clay and Steph couldn't play without you. Bro, just the way you just control the game defensively with your IQ and helping everybody out, being a mic back, like, hey, I'm talking to everybody. Everybody needs to know what's going on. And then offensively throwing people open. Let's just talk about the science of throwing someone open instead of just giving them a pass for an assist.
100%. Well, it's kind of I'm a huge football fan, and when you watch the quarterback throw the ball, if he want to complete that pass and it's an out route, he better let that ball go before that guy come out that break. Because if you let that ball go once he come out of that break and he start going out, that DB is as fast, if not faster, and that DB gonna pick that if you throw that ball when he come out of that break. And so I love football in that way, and I watch football. And so in playing with Steph and Clay, they're such lethal shooters that what I end up learning is, in playing with them, is that I would have to throw the pass before they get there. Because if I don't throw the pass before they get there, everybody in the gym is afraid. And they're going to overreact once they see Clay actually coming off the screen. By the time I try to throw it, the big going to jump out. He's going to pick it off. The guard going to try to ran him off the screen. And so I throw it right as I see him about to get to the screener, the ball already there. So as soon as he turned off that screener, either one of them, as soon as they turn off that screener, the ball is hitting them in the chest. The thing that I learned about those two guys is if I throw them open, there's never a chance that they can't get a shot because they have such a quick trigger that once they catch the ball, it's gone.
Yeah.
So if you're not there when the ball hit their hands, like soon as it hit their hand, you're too late. And so my thing is, let me throw it early where I know he's going, because once he catch it, it's gone. And by the time the defense realizes that he catching the ball, it's too late. Yeah. And I still need to be able to get these guys shots. And when I tell you the defenses that they've both seen, but it's Steph in particular, the amount of coverages that we've seen over these years trying to stop these dudes, you have to figure out little things like that because they were just so deadly. The whole defense overreact, but like enough of them slips. I still need to get these guys shots.
Yeah.
And so I just throw the ball early, and every now and then it will lead to a turnover, but more often than not, they running right into it. They know as soon as it come off, sometimes it'll hit Steph in the chest, and he don't even realize the ball coming. and it's gone, you know? and I think it's just an art that, you know, we had to figure out. Like, in order to still get them shots, people start switching everything on us, right? Like, we start playing this offense that was a mixture of like the triangle with some triangle concepts and some concepts from Greg Popovich that Steve picked up along the way with some twist of his own. And we start running this offense and people like way behind. Their adjustment was then to start just switching everything. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? I still got to get that ball there before your guy hop out to switch.
Yeah.
And so I just start throwing it early, and it was working. And now that's what we do. Like,
I don't see,
it's on the way.
Bro, I don't see anybody else in the league throwing somebody open. I've been looking for it, and I just haven't seen it. So that's a testament to you and your IQ and your communication with your guys.
Let's take a time out to talk about our good friends at DraftKings. The NBA season is in a great place right now. We're in full swing, and the top teams are putting on a show every night. And you can get in on all the action playing Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. We are witnessing primetime players produce. Luka Doncic at a all-time high level. Giannis and Shea scoring in bunches. Even Ja Morant putting on a show and getting wins there in Memphis. So put that stat knowledge to use and play Pick 6 from DraftKings. Here's how it works. First, download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, then select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, three-pointers. You get the deal. And for first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. The fun of the NBA season continues with the most fun way to play fantasy sports, Pick 6 from DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code PENNY, that's code PENNY, for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Now let's talk about this. You know, when you got Clay and you got Steph, they go, okay, we're going to back off Dre. And we're going to sit in the paint, like not in 3 seconds, but we're just going to back off Dre and go, shoot it. How did you use your skill set at that point the way you go, all right, y'all not going to play me. Y'all playing me by not playing me. So I'm gonna use my IQ. And one time you'd act like you're going into a dribble handoff, you keep it and you go lay it. You know, the next time you like, I shoot it and I make that 3, like, yeah, now what? What y'all going to do now? Talk about that side of it. Like, what were you thinking when they were like, we're going to make Dre beat us. We're going to double team Steph. We're going to double team Clay. Ball get back to Dre. We're just going to let him shoot.
When it first initially started happening, it threw me off because you've never seen someone just like sit back. And so for me, I'm like, okay. And here's where having the IQ that I have also can sometimes be a curse. Because I think the game so much that in my mind, I'm like, well, if they're trying to force me to take this shot, then I probably shouldn't take this shot because they wouldn't be forcing me to take a shot that's best for us. And so then I kind of went through this thing of like, all right, so maybe I should shoot. I lost my confidence. I lost my belief in myself, right? And so in turn, I lost shooting in a rhythm. I totally lost that. And it became a thing, you know what I'm saying? Then it became a mental hurdle that I need to get over, which is, and more often than not, people don't understand the mental hurdle. In most cases, is tougher than the physical. And so I'm going through this thing mentally where I'm like, man, they playing off me. And now it's starting to make me feel like I can't hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a hooper. Like, I've been hooping my whole life. Like, I am a hooper. And so it started to make me feel like I can't hoop. And now it's just messing with my head, man.
Yeah.
And so I had to, but I was afraid to come, like, say that I'm afraid to shoot. But I've gone through this cycle, like, I'm scared to shoot. Like it's just a mind to actually shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to tell people that me, Draymond Green, him, like with that, like not him. So I can't tell people I'm afraid to shoot, man.
Right.
And so I started to figure out things to use it against him. All of a sudden, you gonna play that far back? Well, if you that far back, and I got Steph Curry right here to this right, I'm gonna go DHO, and you got to come up this court. But by the time you get up, and you that far back, by the time you get up, I'm gonna nail his man, and he got a wide open three.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, now y'all catching on to that? Okay, well, guess what? You still gonna sit back because that's your game plan. Well, now you do realize Steph Curry or Klay Thompson's coming off this handoff. Now you come flying up the court. Boop, I'm gone. And so I started figuring out ways to make them pay for playing me like that. That wasn't necessarily me shooting.
Right.
And I had to figure that out because that was my cover up for, man, y'all see how smart he is, all the things that he's doing to get those guys involved. That's just brilliant. The reality is it was a brilliant cover up for being scared as hell to shoot the basketball. And
I understand. And that's what schemes are for, though. Not to interrupt you. Schemes are so we hope, and when you're talking about other guys that you've had to scheme, that they start thinking more and get out of the game and get uncomfortable. And they got you uncomfortable, but you figured it out. You definitely figured it out.
I figured it out, which then allowed me to go back and rediscover my jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have the pressure of Draymond's working back through trying to figure out his jump shot. Because really, in their mind, they think I can't shoot, but somewhere in their mind, they know, this dude used to shoot the piss out the ball. And so I'm going through, and I started meeting with a sports psychologist. I'm going, training with Travis. Like, we're literally training, and he's working on things like, and took his credit. I give Travis credit. He had me working on things where I'm shooting after hesitating because I'm watching these games and I see every shot you taking. So he literally had me working on it. Like, all right, well, you're going to hesitate, so we're going to work on you shooting after you hesitate. And all of those things just allowed me to get my confidence back. But, man, I'll tell you, man, there were some nights I'm going into that game. Like, I'm smart. Like, I know the openings on the court. I know how to move in. I know how to move into the gap. I see the gap right there that I can move into. Now I'm moving this way. Like, I'm not moving into that gap. I got to take that shot. But it was like, man, I had to figure out a way that although I had totally lost confidence, I had to figure out a way to make you pay because it was the only way that I would allow myself to still keep my value that I had.
Right, for sure. I want to go backwards a little bit and go on a timeline from 2012 to 2015 because it happened kind of quick. Talk about the maturation phase of the team, the trades that were made, the timeline from 2012 to 2015 that you just started feeling like, okay, because you're a winner. You've used to winning in college. You're used to competing, and then you get to the league. You said, 20-something games the first year. That before you got there, I don't know how many you won your rookie year, but it just started to gradually get better, and then boom, it happens.
Yeah, we won 44 my rookie year. Made it to the playoffs. I think we were the 7th seed. I'll never forget, man. We had a water parade. Mark Jackson don't do the liquor and stuff, so we had a water champagne sprayer in the locker room after we made the playoffs. We clinched the playoffs, and it was a big deal. You're talking about an organization that had been to one playoff in 21 years, and that was the We Believe team with Baron Davis and Matt Barnes and Stack Jack,
Jackson,
Al Harrington, Jay Rich, Monte Ellis. That's that team.
Yeah.
Other than that, they hadn't had any success, right? So we water shot. We lose in the second round to San Antonio. We were up 2-1 with a chance to close out game 4. Lost the series 4-2. And then coming back that next year, we went from 44 wins to 46 or 48. I want to say 46 wins. and it's just gradually improving. But also coming back that next year, we had acquired Andre Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a sign and trade with the Denver Nuggets and Utah Jazz somehow that sent Andre to us, Richard Jefferson and Brandon Rush to Utah, and so on and so forth. So then Andre comes in, and like that's the first big free agent we get. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like Golden State's no longer the laughing stock of the NBA. A real free agent just came to us to play.
Yeah.
All right, now we making moves now. We starting to move in the right direction. Fast forward, we finished that year. We lose in the first round in Game 7 to the Clippers. That's the Donald Sterling controversy. All of that stuff happened. And then, boom, most success in 2 years this franchise has seen since Nate Thurman and Al Attles and Rick Barry. Most success in the 2 year span. Boom, Mark Jackson gets fired. And we like, what the hell? Like, y'all firing him. We ain't been to the playoffs. We now 2 years in a row, and y'all firing him. Boom, he gets fired. Hire Steve Kerr. That same summer, we signed Leandro Barbosa on the minimum. We signed Sean Livingston. At the time, $5 million was the mid-level. We signed Sean Livingston on a 3 year, $16 million contract. Excuse me. Let's rewind back, though. 2012, our vets are Jared Jack, who's my vet.
Yep.
Richard Jefferson, who's one of my vets. Carl Landry. And then, you got those guys coming off the bench, and now obviously you got D. Lee, you got Bowles, right? But you got these stable guys coming off the bench, and they showing us the way. You know what I'm saying? Real vets. Mm-hmm. A year later, Jack signs with Toronto, I think. Jack signs with Cleveland, excuse me. Jack signs with Cleveland. Carl Landry signs with, can't remember who Carl signed with, but he got him a nice deal.
Yep.
Clears the way for myself. But also we bring in Jermaine O'Neal, another vet, right? J.O., one of my vets. And I mentioned those guys because what those guys gave us allowed us to then win my third year. And although all of those guys were then gone, like that was J.O.'s last year playing, then J.O. retired. Bob Myers told me this story when it happened. When we lost to the Clippers in Game 7, J.O. called Bob. Bob Myers used to be J.O.'s agent, so they were really close.
Yeah. And
J.O. called Bob Myers, and he said, hey, don't break this group up. I know I'm hearing y'all talking about trading, bringing some guys in. Don't break this group up. They know how to lose. And he said, he was like, what? And he was like, don't break this group up. They know how to lose. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we just lost that series. None of those guys flipped on each other. None of them pointed the finger. They all was pissed off that we lost, but none of them pointed the finger. They all pointed at themselves. They lost together. And when you lose together, you can win together. Mm-hmm. Don't break this group up. And so just having guys like that, right? Like, was that ultimately the reason they kept us together? No, but it definitely went somewhere, And so just having guys like that came through. And then, so now fast forward to the end of that year, that summer, he get fired. Steve comes in. We sign Sean Livingston. Doc come in. Midi killer.
Midi.
Second. Midi
nasty.
killer. He coming in that second unit. Him, Andre Iguodala, Leandro Barbosa. It's funny because I was just having a conversation with my wife last night, and we was talking about like youth in the league and vets in the league. It's no more vets in the league. But I was having a conversation with my wife, and I was telling her when we won it initially, we were the young guys. I was in year 3. Clay was in year 4. Steph was in year 6, but had missed like 2 years. So he really in year 4 or 5, right?
Yep.
We were the young guys. And I was telling her, we were the young, wild guys where you may come out, it may be 7 turnovers in the first 6 minutes of the game, but it also may be 8 made threes in that first 6 minutes. And you like, yo. And then Andre come in, Sean come in, Barbosa come in, and the game settles down now. Like, the elder statesmen are here, the big brothers are here, and they here now. and they come settle everything in. So now our talent as young guys with these stabilizers, and now we just able to go, you know. And so that's kind of the 3 years that made up what we've now grown to become this dynasty.
Yeah.
And those were the people that, like I said, the RJs and Jacks and JOs and Carl, they'll never get credit. They'll never get credit. But without their leadership, without their guidance and showing us the way, this dynasty never becomes anything.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I want to ask you about Steve Kerr. How has he improved your growth overall with being with him? Because he had to earn your trust. You know, Mark Jackson had just gotten fired. You and Mark had to have been really close. Steve is a champion. You know, he doesn't get enough credit for his play in the league. Really good player, great player in college, really good damn player in the NBA. And now he has to earn your trust. And over the years, now, like throughout your career up until now, how has he helped you when he came on?
He's helped me a ton. Number one, the amount of things that he taught me about winning that I didn't know. That right there alone is enough. He taught me things about winning, how to win in playoff series, how to evaluate some things in a playoff series, how to make some adjustments in a playoff series, how to conduct yourself in interviews after, different things. He taught me so much about winning that I'm forever grateful for that.
Yes,
that right there, like I said, was enough. Then temperament, how to deal with different things. He's always challenged me in that right. And guess what? It wasn't always us seeing eye to eye. Me and Steve used to bump heads like this crazy, man. Like we had one argument that obviously went out to the world in OKC in 2016 where they just eavesdropping on our conversations out of our locker room. But like we used to go at it. And what we ultimately realized one day is that a lot of times we go at it because that same fire and passion that you see me play with, Steve has that. Like
no doubt about it.
Steve low-key out of his mind, man. And people don't realize that. Like Steve is calm, and then he just lose it. And like he just snap.
Right.
And that same fire and drive, we just clash over it. Until one day we realized that it's the same passion, it's the same drive. And I realized also that Draymond, sometimes you got to shut the hell up.
Right.
Like sometimes you, even in times where you may have the right answer, it may not be the time for you to say it. Sometimes you need to shut up. Sometimes if Steve have a plan, you need to try that plan first before you tell him what you think the answer is. And although what you thought could have been right this time, it don't matter, right? It took a lot of growth from me. And what I appreciate most is he never allowed me to shortcut that growth. In times where it was hard and times where it would go all the way left, he put me through that. He'd take me right through there. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, all right, we good. Like, and we move forward. But Steve, man, he has been incredible for this organization because he brought winning ways to this organization. He brought a winning mentality to this organization. He brought an offensive system that recreated the way the game in the NBA is played today. And I'm not sure that we could have ever figured out what it took to get there without him. We didn't have a champion, a vet on our team that had won a championship, but we had a coach that had won several, and he was our vet that had won championships.
Yeah,
and that was invaluable. Like we couldn't replace that because we had the talent. He knew how to channel it. He knew where to put the pieces. And he knew, most importantly, how to teach winners. And like I said, I can go on and on about different things, about examples. But for me, that right there, what he taught me about winning, that right there was and will always be enough.
Yeah, that's special, man. Now being the vet on the team, just going there now, what is your perspective on, because you guys had young guys, Moses Moody, Kuminga, and these younger guys coming in. Like you're the vet now, like you said about Richard Jefferson and J.O. and all those guys. How's your mindset with these young guys now on the team?
My mindset with these young guys on the team now, I've always been a guy that no matter what, if someone's younger than me, I always want to pour into them. And I will say, kind of got thrusted into a vet role before I was ready to handle it, before I knew what it took to handle it. And I failed miserably. One of my biggest failures as a vet was what happened with Jordan Poole. And it took me to go through that failure with Jordan Poole, who was someone that came in and chose his locker to be next to me because he wanted to learn from me, was someone that I would spend time with, that I would pour into, and I f***ed it all off. And I haven't felt like that miserably at anything, at most things in my life. And so that was one of my biggest failures. It taught me a ton. It showed me how to be a better vet for Jonathan Kuminga, how to be a better vet for the Moses Moody's. But I had to go through that in order to learn. And like I said, it sucked. But in being that vet now and just wanting to pour into these guys, I think the most important thing for me is knowing how to. With Jordan Poole, I wanted to pour into him as well, and I did pour into him. But the how to, I didn't necessarily know. And because I didn't necessarily know, it led us to a place that kind of can't come back from, But
right.
But for these younger guys, I know not to get close to that place.
Yep.
But how to accomplish the same thing that I was trying to accomplish with that, And
right. Yep.
But it's trial and error. It's having to mature. It's also, I'm in a different space in my career. 3 years ago, I'm still trying to prove X, trying to prove Y, trying to prove Z. That comes with a different mindset than now. Still trying to prove things. I'm still trying to chasing greatness and continue to add to the resume, but it looks different for me now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all. If I come in and I play bad, I ain't walking out of there like, damn, I don't know what's happening next in my life. But Jonathan Kuminga could be. And guess what? I've been in that position before. And so I owe it to him to not care so much about my own self, about my day-to-day, and pour into him what I know need to be poured into him, because I know the effect that it had on me of Jared Jack pouring into me, of Jermaine O'Neal pouring into me, of David Lee taking the back seat. And although I moved into the star lineup for him, continuing to coach me up, continuing to cheer me on, continuing to show me different. It's like, I'm going to show you this on film. I saw you was doing, continuing to pour into me like that. I owe that back. Pete Meyer said to me at my rookie year, he said, Draymond, 2 things I'm going to tell you about this league. As a young guy, and I want you to never forget these things. As a young guy, when you get paid in this league, you get paid for the next guy to get paid. Always understand that. And number 2, you owe it to yourself, but more importantly, you owe it to this league. You owe it to the guys that come behind you to lead the game in a better place than it was when you found it. And that means pouring into young guys. That means advancing the game. That means all those things, but you owe it. That is the duty that comes with the position that you're in and the position you will be in. I never forgot that. And so I try to live by that. And I try to pour into these young guys as much as I can, because it was vital. Like, I still talk to Jared Jack. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was vital for me in figuring out the ropes. And I just try to be that same thing for these guys. And I failed, man. I failed miserably, and I still fail from time to time. But it's a part of my day. Like, it's something that I evaluate myself on. How are you here? You know what I'm saying? I started to realize, my wife made me realize, she's like, yo, you ain't around Moses as much anymore. I'm like, hey, you're right. But, life happening. I got 2 more kids than when Moses first got here. I got Moses is getting older, so Moses don't just want to hang around me no more. Moses doing his own thing now. But as you know, you can fall to all of those things and just get wrapped up in the wheel and forget the stuff, keep pouring into it. So I'm like, let me pull that back. Mo, what you up to? Checking in with him, just going to talk to him, making sure his head right, because that is my duty, and so I just try to pour into these young guys as much as I can.
Yeah, man. For me, on this last thing, man, it's just giving you your flowers, just to see the growth, to see that we all make mistakes, bro. You know, when I saw the Jordan Poole thing, I felt so bad for both of y'all because I know you're just a warrior. And I know in that moment how you can get caught up because we've all been in fights with teammates over the years and it got caught on national TV. And man, it is what it is. And, you know, shout out to Jordan Poole, man. I love his game. Hopefully he grows and that he can continue to be great as he is. But for you and your flowers, man, just job well done, man. You get a salute from me because you have changed the game. You are allowing guys behind you to go, Draymond did it, I can do it, on both sides of the basketball because there's someone watching you all the time, you know, and there's guys that appreciate you like me that know why the championships were won, how the championships were won, with guys like yourself that are willing to do whatever it takes. You took on the best defensive assignment, whether he was 5 inches taller or same height or whatever, it didn't matter. And just to be able to, you know, I've always told my guys, every team that I've coached, to watch you, all my forwards and my guys, they just watch Dre. Just see how he approaches the game. See how's his mental. Look at his interviews. Look at how he talks about the game, how he approaches the game and his IQ. And just for me as a fan, man, I just thank you for being on the show. I've enjoyed every bit of your career and nothing but God's blessings on you and your family, man, and just continue to win and be the winner that you are. And I just hope you go out on top like you want to go out on top. You've already done it all. But I don't know what year that is for you when you're saying, man, I'm thinking about this date or that year or whatever. But whenever that is, I hope that you've accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish all the way around the board, man, and continue success.
I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate you. And like you said, definitely, you know, I shout out to him. He's playing a lot better this year. Like even watching him struggle last year, I'm sitting there looking at it like, damn, I know he better than that. You know what I'm saying? I know. Like, I know what he's capable of. And I'm just sitting, and again, I'm still living that, right? Like, I'm like, dang. And so to see him having a good year, bounce back year, I enjoy it. I still follow him on Instagram. I still look at all his posts. Like, I ain't got no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't up to me whether he do or don't. I'm sure he does, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I 1,000% get it. And so, you know, it's a part of maturing, though. And, you know, I wish him well always. I'm always rooting for him. I always want to see him do great. And he's doing it, averaging 20 points again this year. Like, it's great to see. But that's great. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate them flowers. You know, they hard to come by in this world we in.
They are.
You know? So
they are, man.
To get those flowers from one of the greats, it mean the world to me. I'm going to continue pushing forward, continue growing, try to continue adding to this resume. Hopefully, one day it can end in the Hall of Fame. But if not, I can go to sleep at night knowing I gave everything that I possibly had. And it didn't start off even being thought of as could be a Hall of Fame career. So at most, I made people think about it. And then guess what? If I did my job.
No doubt. No doubt. Job well done, my man. Well, we're going to sign off. You know, thank you guys for checking in with us. Dre, love you, man. Appreciate you. Hey, this was the show. That's my guy, Dre. Thank you for tuning in to my 2 Cents podcast. Peace.